YouTube, how are you all doing? Hope you're all well. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas and a lovely New Year. So, welcome back, guys. I had planned on actually getting a video out there, we'd say probably 2 weeks ago, but I just didn't get around to it. I had stuff that I was building away, and I did plenty of kind of recording of what I was building and stuff, but getting a video out just before Christmas just didn't happen because there was just the usual too much of a rush on. So I said I'd just take my time. It wasn't going to be a difference between last week and this week, or 2 weeks ago and this week. So so I just want to thank everybody as always, guys, on the last video, the comments, the positivity and subscriptions. Again, thank you so much. A lot of gratification for all the appreciation of what I put out. So without further ado, let's get cracking, and we'll run you through what I have been doing. Again, we're just starting with the overview of the city itself. For anybody that's new, welcome, by the way, to the city, and we'll just explain our way through, guys, and just give you a rundown of it anyway. So starting off here, we have Arkham Asylum, guys, as always, and this now was built, I suppose, about 2 years ago. And as we're hovering over it, I just explain a few things again, as I kind of started here and kind of worked down that way. And then we say we have the back cave at the end. I had again thought, when I had done this at the time, I was delighted with it. I was happy what came out of it and stuff like that. But again, guys, as I look at it here, this is just fairly bland now to me in comparison to what I had done with the rest of the city over here, which we'll get to in a bit. Just the flat green plates, I don't want there anymore, you know. Now the building itself I'm quite content with, because that was kind of catching a bunch of those sets, semi-mocking it up, so to say. There is half an interior done, but the reason I didn't do the full-blown interior, I suppose, and get around to it is because it's such a tricky thing to do for probably one video that I would probably record on the interior of it, and then that's it. Once it's placed, it's in there. And normally, let's face it, in most Lego cities, we're looking at the externals of what you piece together. Of course, it's the buildings like the modulars and stuff like that, and we know what the interiors of them are once we build them, when we get them every January or whatever. But again, it's, I suppose, for me, a city is the landscape and how you place the modulars in and stuff like that, and then of course how you kind of put your own custom touch to your city, you know. So whether it be, you know, your normal road plates, your Mills road plates, your mountains, whatever you want to put in there, where you place one modular next to the other. Everyone has their own colourful taste, and I love that, and I love checking out cities to see what's there. But it's very rare, guys. You know, you'll have someone maybe do a video of the interior of a mock they made, and that's it. It's one video, you know. Even the process of just placing this on top of all that rock, and then I can split it into three or whatever to show the inside. It's a dose. Believe me, it's a dose. And that's, I suppose, why I didn't really kit the whole lot out on the inside. It takes an awful lot of time, an awful lot of detailed pieces. I still have the jail cells in there and a few bits going on, but I kind of stopped halfway when I got the exterior done. I said, yeah, I'll come back to it. And like, I suppose really, for the one video that you do, maybe 10 minutes of the interior, that'll be it. And then it's placed, and there's so much work that goes into that it's never really appreciated, bar that one video. That could have been put out 2 years ago, and you still have someone come along in the comment section and say, oh, will you do an interior to Arkham, you know? So it mightn't be seen then, you know. So anyway, let's get on with it. The main thing here is that building is fine on top of that rock. I might make a few adjustments. I don't mind the water going around it, but the level at the ground level is lower than all my Mills plate stuff now that would be here. So I want to bring all this up. So as you can see here, the water is there, but the ground outside of it, isn't the grass, the path, is lower than the water, which wouldn't be the realistic case in reality, like, because the water would really be dampening the grounds unless there's a swimming pool. So the whole thing here is I want to actually up the game here, and I want to put different shades of green in there and stuff like that, and I suppose reinvent the whole surrounding of it, you know. And this is going to be the next project after the end project down there, where we're going into this area here where we're going to be doing Gotham. So that'll be down the line, you know. But again, it's just showing what is and what's been there for anybody that's new anyway, you know. And for anybody that has been following along, there will be changes coming, you know. So just before we move into the square, just up the back of it there, guys, we had done that for the Halloween time, where we have that whole rock area up at the end of Crime Alley. I'll get to in a bit, and just the kind of haunted houses that were done there, just to fill out the back line of the city. As you know, we've done that in the last 1 or 2 updates. And then moving on down here, we have right next to Arkham, we have our Crime Alley. And that's again where Bruce's parents were killed in front of him. And I just filled out the alley because it's part of Gotham, sure, and it's just full of chaos right up to the top. I will have to put a tunnel there at the end of the road just to kind of take out that hollow look underneath that. Again, that's the newest haunted house, but I like it because it has almost like a church look to it, and it just sits nicely next to Arkham. So moving on down. So again, guys, now we have a whole run of Mills Plate roads running right up there, and right up to that kind of little hill that goes underneath the bridge up there, or shall I say the tunnel up there. And in here then we have our main town square, again where the majority of modules are, and the centerpiece is the town hall, and the 2 bookstores next to them. I just like those buildings, and those colours rhymed beautifully, I think, with the actual town hall, so they're just a nice centerpiece. And I wanted my square elevated as well, guys, so it starts kind of low down here with the Parisian restaurant, and then we have our detective's office, and there's a small bit of a custom pet shop up there. And if I just go right into the corner, that corner I just filled out to make sure there was no I suppose gaps in the city. I just wanted all the detail, nothing to be left, you know, hidden in the corner. So I kind of went into it last time, I think at the last update, just to get what I can in there, and just backing out. So we have a few benches in there, so it's just a place where someone can get the coffee here. There's a small little custom shop at the right, and you can get your coffee and sit down there. I still have to finish out the top of the square there where the actual couple are. I was just waiting on tiles and maybe a handrail to run along there, obviously for someone that doesn't, or for someone not to fall down into the square. And then we have again our assembly square here, our pet shop, and running down to the Palace Cinema. And I wanted the Palace Cinema here simply because it's just the story of Bruce Wayne and his parents coming out and going into Crime Alley itself, and that's where his parents get killed in. So that kind of works with that, you know. Yeah, as you know, guys, if you're building your cities and you're placing modulars, I know we have a new one coming out, and I love it. It looks beautiful, but God knows where I'm going to put it, because I have it built just for what is in here, you know. And the only thing I can think of is the the diner. I can never think of it. I could change that for the other one that's coming, or I could change maybe the police station, because you'll see now in my case, because I have a step formation here, which just brings us to our sloping road. I have a step formation of my modulars here, so I can still see the soap and stud sign nicely, because the police, or shall I say, the bank is dropped down lower than the police station itself. And I would get the, what is it, the boutique hotel in there. But, you know, if it's the one modular that I probably would have found nearly the hardest to place, is the diner. It's just for the colouring and for what it is. It's that 1950s setup, cool look, I know. But you'd nearly need 3 other buildings to actually make an area for that 1950s setup, for me anyway, you know. Now it just goes nicely at the end of the hill. It's like when I done these houses here, these were the townhouses that came with the bookstores, and I done them in different colours. And I remember placing this, and I finally found a home for it. But again, like that, it just took a long time to place that. The rest of the actual, and it's a corner modular, which means if you put it, which we all know, but if you put this in between buildings, it kind of, you know, for me it didn't look right. And I was finally, after finding a spot for it, like, but it's probably the one modular that I'd have no problem pulling out of my city. And the newest one coming out, I'd have no problem putting here, because the angle of the building, the way it goes back, and you've got the steps up to this little area here, in the boutique hotel, like which looks lovely, you know. But I'm in no rush to get it, as in there's much more projects going on here in the city. So again, guys, the main thing here, at the top of the hill and the back line, is what I'm doing the update on today. So we saw this area the last time, and we're coming along here. I'll just sweep down, okay, and we're heading here towards the last of the modulars in that little road here. We have the fire station, the garage, and then we've got the kind of impound area here, or impound, yeah, which I still need to just put the final touches on it, and I'll get to that. And then we have our Diagon Valley. I call it Valley just because I actually placed it with the water around it. And then what we got done over the last kind of 2 weeks was the back line up here. I just lens back here a little bit. Now guys, there's one thing I know from this, is that the camera really doesn't do this back line justice too much. You did see the last update, I had done the little castle over here and a small bit of walkway, and then I ordered 1,000 more bricks, masonry brick of sandy beige and the nuke kind of brown colour, and I wanted to kind of do a custom castle just to actually finish off before we go into the mountainous area, which I'll be talking about in a minute. And this thing is massive, but it looks so small back there in here. I threw a picture out on Instagram and it just did no justice. It looked like just something minute, and I thought, Christ, I'm not getting the I suppose the real look to it out to people, because the camera just doesn't do it justice. So I just come in here a small bit to it anyway. Basically it's a huge kind of 4-pillared castle, and we have similar windows in the Hogwarts school in the tower parts of it, and I again used a lot of the Harry Potter sets for this, a small bit of an internal, literally where you can step from one level to the next to look out those windows. And then I put those 2 arches again there with a small little tower, and we've got the road running underneath it, and that'll be the final area then where you come out. And then my table is ready here for the mountain area, and this area here just at the side of this here is going to be the Wayne Manor Drive, coming all the way up here behind these rocks, and eventually up to the side of, I can't even get it, you know, into the side of Wayne Manor here. That'll be the next project I'll be getting to. So yeah, so again, you know, I was building this inside and home, and I thought, this is massive, to starting with my belly button just coming right up past my chin. And then when I put it out here, I kind of got lost in the background, and plus I keep saying I must cover those windows up with some kind of a white backing. I don't know what it's going to be, a bit of wood and a bit of paint or whatever, or a small blind, so you can actually see it, because that looks terrible there. But it's big enough, guys, anyway. And the back line I'm delighted with, because right underneath that we have a road coming right out to the end, and that Mills Plate road is behind the Hogwarts school, running up there, and then it's coming down the hill as you saw a while ago. So I'm delighted that level up, and then we've got plenty. If I just stand back here a little bit and just swing from left to or right to left, so you can see here in the back level, like, and as I just sway down, like, we've got a grand high back row of between the haunted houses, and again that's more of a kind of a dark grey and light grey and greenery, and then we're just transferring straight into the sandy beige colour. And one more thing I actually done there, I had posted on Instagram, was just up here, just to finish off that area. It's hard to see now because it's quite dark there, lads, but just to finish off the haunted house area in there, I built a small kind of a rockery walkway with broken gates, and it's just coming down to meet the platform to, you know, eventually enter the city. Now it's done in a way that the rock work can't really be walked on, you break your neck if you did. So it's stopping the actual dead from coming down into the city. That's the whole story of that, you know. But it's quite dark in here, and that's another thing, guys, which brings me to the lights in here. Old lights, I must get some seriously good bright LEDs so we can see what's going on in the city. So yeah, so that's basically a run of the city, lads. I'm still talking here a long time. And this area here, I'm just coming to it now, so I do have a good few slopes. I got a few orders in, so I'm just going to be starting on the mountain area and the actual side of Wayne Manor, coming out into the to enter the city, the drive, you know. Now, the cave, and just excuse me for, I forgot to put on a light here so you can actually see the cave. As you can see, this is for just people that haven't seen it. This is the biggest part of what I love doing here. So we have Wayne Manor up here, and it's placed on top of the cave, and I just view around it nice and easy. And then just coming down to the cave itself. So again, the only finishing thing here now I have with this is probably just to get it all lit up, and that way this big blinding light here alongside of me, I won't need on really. You'd see what's in the cave if every little room is lit up, and I have small little areas where I can light up the water and stuff like that. So you just sweep left to right. Now guys, I have a detailed video on this, so you can go back and have a gander at it if it's your first time seeing it. And then again, we're just going to sweep around here, hitting the city area, and coming back here, and just over again for anybody that hadn't seen the Japanese area. And again guys, this is a long time here, wasn't touched in about 2 years, and I will be doing a change in that down the line, and I will get those Japanese gardens for one of these corner areas here. And I will be changing things in this again, as I said lads, in the last 1 or 2 videos like that, 2 years ago or more since I'd done this, and I was absolutely over the moon with it and stuff. But I can see now there's, you know, you just get better at building and stuff, and I can see certain things that I know that I'd like to change about it, and I will in time. This is its own table. I was trying to see could I connect it somewhere to the city itself, or bridge it across or whatever, but it's just kind of too awkward, so I just kind of kept it by itself. I always have that great time for the Japanese stuff because I had a massive interest in the martial arts for years and stuff, and I love Japan and the history of it, so I wanted something where I could bring a bit of modern into the old. So this now here is like a kind of the old guard, the temples that had been around for centuries, and then back here we just kind of brought in the entrance area to it, the trees, and we'd say the modern kind of city and stuff like that here. So yeah guys, so that's it anyway in a nutshell. I'm glad I got back to you, and just sooner than what I thought. I thought to be ages before I get back in, but I just had to move myself off the couch. The lazy week and Christmas. So guys, till the next update, I want to thank everybody again for tuning in and for all the positivity. Lego Leprechaun out.